What if we could have one church wherever you are? It'd be the most amazing thing, and I think profoundly impressive. I think it would be remarkable in its impact. I think it could be stunning in its consequence.
I've been asked, were you excited, were you surprised? I wasn't surprised at all. We have got such an incredible team. I knew it would go great today, and it has. There's so much energy, there's so much expectation here. I think October 5th is going to be an incredible day, and we'll have a seat for everybody who wants to be a part of it. We're excited about where we're going to go.
So well over 5 years ago, we were dreaming about how we reach this entire region for Christ. And we were also observing that we had folks from our church at the Granger campus driving quite a distance to attend services every weekend. So, October 2008, we launched this work in Elkhart. It was a fun, pioneering, entrepreneurial kind of start because it took us back to our roots as a church in a movie theater where we first launched at Encore Theaters in Elkhart.
Everyone had this kind of like trailblazer energy. Everybody was excited. I'd hear stories of the roadies who did all the setup and tear down of them racing to see who could get there first. They'd get there at like 6 a.m. and they'd have bets on who would be the first one there to unlock the trailers. I think that was the energy that you'd see across the campus.
The passion is so awesome here. The energy, the excitement, very fun.
And we spent 6 months there, and the energy was high, and every weekend, just like we did 25 plus years ago, we renovated and turned over this theater that was used all week long to repurpose every room to serve our kids and to proclaim the good news of Jesus in each of those cinemas. Then we had a cool opportunity to move our work to the Elkhart Hall of Fame.
Going to the Hall of Fame was kind of a gift that we didn't expect. We were happy at the theater and it was fun, but it had its challenges. So when we went to the RV Hall of Fame, it enabled us to do live worship for the first time and to get our whole community in the same room at the same time.
Look at that. How many churches can say that they have 80-year-old RV vehicles in their auditorium? Isn't that cool? We're going to actually obviously put some pipe and drape on there, get this thing all dressed up with some artistic elements. It's going to be incredible.
So I remember the first time I visited the Elkhart campus when we were at the Hall of Fame. I found myself walking into a warehouse and wondering how this is going to feel like church. And it totally did. It was smaller, but that didn't mean that it was lesser. It was really fun to go in there, and at the same time I was thinking in my heart, I felt like God was calling me to some kind of leadership there.
I started probably 3 years ago at the Elkhart campus at the Hall of Fame. People were the most welcoming, and they didn't care where you're coming from, what your story was, they just embraced you as their own.
We spent 2 years in that space, and we watched the congregation grow, we watched people invite their friends.
And then we're given this marvelous space by a church that wanted the gospel of Jesus to continue to be preached and delivered to the people of Elkhart.
It's really unique to show up to Granger Community Church on Bristol Street, because when you pull into the parking lot, you're pulling into this building that looks radically different from University Drive. And so you're pulling into a facility that was built in late 1960s, and you know you're going to church. Right now you're walking under a steeple if you're walking in the front door. But as soon as you go in the door, it's a totally different experience. It feels like what we know to be Granger.
We're a traditional building, kinda. We've got the steeple, we've got the church bell. I live just 3 blocks away from the church, and for a long time those church bells weren't ringing. And one of the spring mornings after we had opened the campus, I was laying in bed and the windows were open, and we heard those bells again for the first time. And just hearing that call to worship to the surrounding community was incredible.
What's been really great is being part of the Elkhart community and being able to see life change happen. What we're all about as Granger Community Church is helping people take their next steps toward Christ together. And it's really cool to be able to do that right there in the neighborhood.
GCC Elkhart has become pretty much my second home, and they are family to me because they are real.
We went from being Christians to being Christ followers with the Elkhart campus, and all 3 of my younger kids have come to know Christ.
As a church is able to move into communities with strength and offer the incarnational love of God, it raises the level of ministry to a whole new impact.
It's really great to be at this for 5 years and to be able to see people taking their next steps toward Christ right along with us. I mean, that's our vision, and that's what we're about.
When I think about the future And what's really exciting, I can't help but think about the people that I know now that I didn't know when we moved to Bristol Street. And I look out the windows and I see even more houses with even more people. That's pretty exciting.